Shall we start the discussion? Okay, let's come to the discussion of these questions from the question number 1 to 10 onwards. Okay, so what is this first question stated? So it's a strengthening or weakening of arguments. When we talk about strengthening or weakening of argument, it means we are talking about supporting the argument or means weakening the argument, isn't it? So any of the argument that the author has pointed, or maybe called that the author has given a kind of a statement in which the character made the argument, right? So on the basis of that, we need to find out a logical choice which will then support or weaken, isn't it? But at the same time, what we need to see, we need to observe the theme of the text, right? The argument present in the text and the conclusion given in the text. These are the couple of things that we need to understand from the statement. So the most important thing is called as understanding the statement. What the statement tries to tell us. What is the main plot of the statement? What is the main theme of the statement? Or what is the main conclusion in the statement? Right? So those are the things that we need to identify from the statement. Second thing is called when we look at the question, so we need to understand that what has it been asking for. Let's say that it is asking for the strengthening of the argument. But at the same time, we need to also see that whether it asks for the strengthening or weakening. So more strengthening or called as only strengthening. More strengthening and only strengthening means what? It means find out one of the choice which will most support to that particular choice or particular argument, isn't it? Most support means what? It means other choices are there which may support to it, right? But one choice is there which will be considered as the most appropriate. That is called as one of the word. Most we need to observe that. Second is called as a list, and third is called as an XAT, isn't it? I hope you, while you have gone through all these questions, you come across these are the words, isn't it? In most of the questions. Let's come to the first one. The first question answer will be D, is it? Got your answer? Option D. If you have a doubts or query after giving the answer, you can ask me for that. Yes. Now, do you understand what does it ask? Which of the following solutions? So, आपको identify क्या करना है? Solutions. Which of the following solutions, if engaged by the socially backward communities? What do you mean by socially backward communities? It means those of the people who are facing the biased, who have received nothing but a kind of a problem, isn't it? Or who have been hunted, isn't it? So, would counter the effect of a hunter in a jungle saying that hunting had stopped. Am I clear? If the teacher says that I teach well in the class, will it be considered? If the student says that the teacher teaches well, will it be considered? Understood? Are you getting my point? I have just given an analogy to this particular. Yeah, I am coming to it. Understand what does the question ask? No, I don't believe in caste. Caste is a thing of past. Caste is a regressive institution. Please do not talk about caste. I do not even know my caste. My grandmother used to allow the Dalits to enter our homes. The list goes on and on. While the urban elite continues to deny the existence of caste, caste-related atrocities means called as a violence, remain a permanent fixture in Delhi news, and caste-based eligibility criteria in matrimonial sections of newspapers. If your grandparents are allowed Dalit to enter their home, the question to be asked is if it was of support to the given to the community. Denial of caste and casteism is a privileged standpoint, and never in my life have I seen a person from a socially backward community denying the existence of caste as they are at the receiving front. Now, up to this, what you have understood? Up to this, we understood the author is very irritated, right? A kind of a negative tone that he made up. He said that I don't believe in caste or casteism, right or not? So, but while he came out, means all these discussion, he came to the means at the end of it that means if your grandparents allowed Dalits to enter their home, right? So the question to be asked: is it a favor to be bestowed upon the community? You are giving a favor to the community or not? It's a question. Second, denial of caste and casteism is a privileged standpoint, right? So if you are not means accepting the caste or casteism, it is something called as a considered as a privilege, right? A good thing. So, and never in my life, after that, never in my life have I seen a person from a socially backward community. It means you are saying that you allow the means other backward class to your home, and you treat them well. But तुम्हारे कहने से क्या होता है? Isn't it? So that's what it is pointed. It's a kind of a criticism, sarcasm. Next is called as a means वही statement में यहाँ पे ये भी कहा जा रहा है कि I have never seen in my life that from a socially backward community who denies the existence of caste. So तुम कह रहे हो कि कास्टिज्म नहीं है, तुम कास्टिज्म को बिलीव नहीं करते, हम लोग तो कास्ट अदर बैकवर्ड कास्ट के लोगों को हमारे घर में घुसाते हैं, ऐसे ऑथर ने कहा है इस स्टेटमेंट। लेकिन ऑथर एट द एंड में भी ये बोल रहे हैं कि मैंने कभी भी कोई अदर बैकवर्ड कास्ट के लोगों से ये नहीं सुना है, राइट, कि कास्टिज्म एग्जिस्ट नहीं है। द मीनिंग ऑफ कास्टिज्म एग्जिस्टिंग नहीं है का मतलब क्या होता है? इसका मतलब यही है कि पार्शियलिटी होता है, isn't it? So after that it is stated as they are at the receiving front, क्योंकि कास्टिज्म सहता कौन है? अदर बैकवर्ड कास्ट ही लोग सहते हैं, है कि नहीं? बिकॉज दैट इज व्हाट इट इज कॉल्ड एज दे आर एट द रिसीविंग फ्रंट। लेने वाला कौन है? वही तो ले रहे। बायस्ड किन के साथ हो रहा है? उन्हीं के साथ तो हो रहा है, isn't it? So it is related. So author is making an analogy here. It is related to hunter in a jungle, saying that hunting had stopped. तो जो लोग कास्टिज्म करते हैं, राइट, वो बोल रहे हैं कि कास्टिज्म नहीं है। लेकिन जो लोग means casteism or called as a biased partiality on the matter of caste, those who are taking it, those who are receiving it, I have never heard from them that casteism is not existed. Am I clear with this? Understood the statement clearly? Now, if I go to the keyword of the question, which of the following solutions, if engaged or if employed by the socially backward communities, understand carefully. So if employed by whom? Means socially backward community. अगर means वही मेरा आंसर होगा, अगर means socially backward communities would counter the effect of a hunter in a jungle, saying that hunting has stopped, right? तो तभी वो आंसर ऑप्शन काउंटर करेगा, है कि नहीं? क्योंकि इन throughout the paragraph the author said that casteism is not existed, right? So but we need one of the options which will say that casteism is not existed, right? और casteism is existed. इस स्टेटमेंट के ऊपर अगर ओबीसी वाला बोल दे, अगर बैकवर्ड कास्ट के लोग अगर बोल दे, तो ही मींस ये काउंटर होगा, है कि नहीं? तुम्हारे कहने से क्या होगा? Or understood this? Now you understood the question. Now, if I go to the option A, putting an end to casteism in the scope of the political process. So you are saying that what casteism means को end करना ये एक political means process है, right? Now this could not be called as a kind of a counter. Can you consider that it is a counter? If this is a counter, then what is wrong in that the counter the author has made? कि casteism नहीं है कि नहीं? तो option A doesn't make the kind of a counter. And second thing, so option A doesn't come out from the socially backward means communities, isn't it? So therefore it is not accepted. B, having a strong common vision to reimagine the social order. Now this doesn't talk about anything related to the casteism, does it? No. So we cannot go with the option B. Option B stated that strong common vision to reimagine the social order, right? होना चाहिए. तो ये एक suggestion है, right? तो जिसके वजह से हम casteism को eradicate कर सकते हैं, but that's again called as a suggestion from the outsider people. C, having a social order that is inclusive and variety with a healthy space for dissent and disagreement. Now, who said this statement? Who said this statement? Can you make it? Now, option 4 said the marginalized sections. Understand? When you say that marginalized sections means you are talking about other backward caste people. So, themselves acknowledge. So, the other backward caste people are called as the marginalized sections themselves accepting lack of an institutional bias towards the marginalized sections of the society. It means they say that means casteism तो हो रहा है लेकिन इतना नहीं हो रहा है, right or not? Now उनका जो viewpoint है which is making that yes casteism is there, right? Because lack of an institutional bias, the meaning of it what? Now if you are raising the voice, right? So, who is raging? The people who are receiving, right? Who are saying? Those who are receiving, right or not? And what they are saying? That yes, there is a means bias, or there is a something called as a lack of an institutional bias, isn't it? To whom? Toward the marginalized sections of the society, isn't it? Now, in that case, hunted are stating that the hunter is stopped but very little, but hunting is still going on, isn't it? Doesn't it make the correct answer to this? Understood now? Clear? समझ में आया? जब तक आपको ये पता चले कि मीन्स फॉरेस्ट में जानवर हैं, घूम फिर रहे हैं, इसका मतलब क्या है? हंटिंग बंद हो गया है, right or not? So that is what. Okay, am I clear with this? Okay, question number 2, will it be C? Is it C? C? No? Okay, if you have a doubt you can ask me in that. Okay, question number 3, will it be D? Q? It all happens because of the irregularity, nothing else. If you attend the classes from the beginning to end, no, you won't find out any kind of a problem. The only thing is that sitting in the class for 2 hours and solving the handouts is nothing but a kind of a means 50% are helping you to what means understanding the different types of questions and its difficulty level and how it can be easily solved. Okay, question number 4, C. 5, D. Let me give you till 10. After that, we'll have a discussion. 5D.
So D or D?
D for debilitate. Right? Question number 6. Is it D again? 7, C. 8, D, debilitate. 9, D2, D. D for debilitate. 10, D2, debilitate. Okay? Now ask me any doubts if you are. Sorry? 4, 5. Okay. Question number 4 and 5. Anything else? 8. Question number 8. Anything else? 2. Very good. Anything else? 10. So, यहाँ पे 5 हो गए. 6 एक मैंने कह दिया है. और कुछ? 6 भी कर दो. Okay. So 2, 4, 5, 8. 2, 4, 5, 6, 8. Quickly moving to question number 2. So what does it say? The challenge in a country like India is its ability to sustain a long-term lockdown to break the transmission of the novel coronavirus. Right. So यहाँ पे कोरोना वायरस के ऊपर दिया गया है. So when people are asked to return to their village and wash their hands multiple times a day, that's a challenge for some of India's most underprivileged and poorest people. When they are told, if you feel ill, go to a doctor. If there is one doctor for every 10,000 plus people in rural India, that is again a challenge. And when they are told to social distance, when so many people don't have another room to practice social distancing, it's also called as a huge challenge. So India probably has no choice but to go for herd immunity. Now up to this you would find out the theme of the text is called as it is indicating about coronavirus, right? Second is called as it tells about the challenges that India faces, isn't it? So, and finally it is stated that India probably has no choice but to go for herd immunity, right? So, and that is to shelter and protect its most elderly and let its young go out and back to work, right? It indicates clearly that what means herd immunity will protect to the who means old people. So that's why we will not allow old people. Means what? Let its young go out and back to work, isn't it? Now, which of the following, if true, most strongly supports the speaker's argument, right? Now, if I talk about the speaker's argument, we draw that what India probably has no choice for but to go for herd immunity and to protect its most elderly, young should go out and back to work, isn't it? Am I clear? That is what the last line, last couple of lines. The earlier lines are challenged. Last 3 lines are nothing but called as a conclusion. And those conclusions drawn on the basis of the earlier challenges. Hai ki nahi? So in that case, which of the following is true most strongly supports to the speaker's argument. Now you don't go to the challenges, no? And consider that challenges ko support karna hai. You will support what? Herd immunity. Isn't it? Now, if I go to the option A, India was one of the few countries that implemented the lockdown early on to trying to break the chains of transmission. Right? Now, sorry? Yeah, this is something called as looking at the challenges, what they have done. Right? But it doesn't talk about that herd immunity. Right? So if I go to the option B, people start to feel good about the economy when unemployment is kept from going out of control. Now it is indicating about unemployment. Like option A, like you find out option B, right? So that's something called as A and B, indicating about the challenges. C, developing herd immunity takes up to 6 months, right? Now that is the thought, keeping in the mind. You are sending to the young people to work and young people to means go out. You are not sending the old people because old people are not going out for the work. Got my point? Now this one supports to the young people, right? But if I go to the deep, the young are immune and will experience the virus in its mild or asymptomatic form. So here this one is stated that the young are immune and will experience the virus in its mild and asymptomatic form. But they will be attacked, and when they will be attacked, so it will take some what is it, 6 months. Isn't it? Now that is the thought. Keeping in the mind, you send the young people, right? So, and you are not sending the old people to go out and do the work. Am I clear? So the problem is called the coronavirus is there and many of the challenges are there, right? To say or to stay away from such kind of challenges, we will keep the old people at home and send the young people go out and to do work. Now the question comes, why? Because they do have the herd immunity. How will you prove that? Now when you prove that, you will say that developing herd immunity takes up to 6 months, right? And means to attack them, right? If you talk about D is simply stating that the young are immune, so they do have the immune system high and will experience the virus in its mild and or asymptomatic form. So this could be okay, but the question is asked most strongly, right? Most strongly support the speaker's argument. So on the basis of that, developing herd immunity takes up to 6 months, right? So they will go for the young people for that, right? That is why. Option D is simply stating about young are having the immune. So the old are also having the immune.
Sir, I thought that it is young who are, why should they go out? This should be the
Keeping the thought of what they have the immune and will experience the virus in its mild
that's
and
how they will develop the herd immunity.
but at the same time, means it takes up some time or not.
But in the text, nothing about time is mentioned. So why?
But if you talk about that, they will attack with the mild and asymptomatic form, right? So you will keep them at home.
But as they are young, they can tackle with it.
But that's a future thought.
But here also it takes 6 months to.
So you come to that idea, no? You come to that idea that what even if they will be attacked with the what means coronavirus, so means they will develop herd immunity. They will develop herd immunity, right? And it takes up to 6 months. So it tries to tell that what means the comparison between old people and the young people. What does it try to say? That old people will severely attack and young people will, or old people will easily attack and immediately attack, whereas the young people will take some time to attack. Isn't it? So therefore it is stated option C, right? It is it is assumed that the best answer is C. But if you talk about option D, which is simply stated that they will be, they are immune and experience the virus in its mild and asymptomatic form. Now simply you talk about that, means young people will be attacked.
The C option talks about both, whereas
D is only talking about one, right? There. So that is what. Am I clear with this? Okay. Question number 4. What is there in the question number 4? So question number 4 said about the kind of problem that Mumbai people face. Right in the heart of Mumbai lies Parel, an area of over 100 hectares occupied by textile mills. This land strip has been a bone of contention. Now look into that. A bone of contention का मतलब क्या होता है? That's something called as a conflict. गले का हड्डी ना, हिंदी में कहा जाता है गले का हड्डी. Right. So in that case, a bone of contention. क्या bone of contention है? जो land वहाँ पे, right? Which is nothing but called as a heart of Mumbai. So and ये जो bone of contention है किस में है? Among mill workers, mill owners, and the city planners. despite a variety of recommendations by several committees to develop the area, which in turn, even at a conservative estimates, could provide housing for almost 3 lakh people. Right? The plan is what? Giving means houses to the people in the city. The prickly issue was once again reopened. So ये कभी खत्म नहीं हुआ. ये issue होके रह गया and ये खत्म नहीं हुआ. And then after you find out the prickly issue was once again reopened when the Shiv Sena BJP government set up a study group in order to prepare an integrated development plan for the textile mill lands. So what the thought in their mind, that's called as an integrated development plan for the textile mill. वहाँ पे एक integrated development होगा textile के ऊपर, right? So and then after it is stated, the group headed by some famous people, Charles Correa, famous architect and city planner. Also, you would find out SDFC chairman, right? However, the report, उन्होंने भी कुछ report बनाया, right? The report, which was submitted to the state government a few months ago, seems to have gone the way of all such reports, right? No concrete steps seems to be on the way. तो इसका मतलब यहाँ पे भी उनको कुछ मिला नहीं, ये भी मीन्स ये मीटिंग भी सक्सेसफुल हुआ नहीं, है कि नहीं? Now question is what? Which of the following if true would most weaken the author's argument in the passage above? Right? Now if I talk about that, we need to weaken the author's argument, right? So if I go with the option C, what does option C say? The falling real estate prices in Mumbai have inhibited action from being taken on the development of the mill land scheme. What do you mean by that?
Real estate prices are falling, so people are not investing.
Yeah, so in that case, here you would find out the real estate prices in Mumbai, which is decreasing, isn't it? So the real estate prices are falling, है कि नहीं? So अगर ये fall हो रहा है, so Mumbai have inhibited action from being taken on the development of the mill land scheme. So means it is also not shown any interest for the integrated development plan for the textile mills. So that's why their meeting is also unsuccessful, isn't it? So it's not like that. Okay, means because of that means bone of contention, it was not successful, right? It was something else, and that becomes weakening to the author's argument. Author's argument is based upon what? Author's argument is based upon that what? ना ये एक जो particular part है वो means Mumbai का heart है. At the same time, it is 100 occupied by textile mills, and this land strip has been a bone of contention among mill workers, mill owners, city planners, and variety of recommendations. So these all are nothing but involving into the conflict, and they are not allowing this land to, means use in a kind of a plan, right? तो इसका मतलब ये सारे ही क्या है? Responsible है, क्योंकि ये bone of ये जो land है, this is nothing but a kind of a bone of contention, right? लेकिन उसके बाद जो शिवसेना एंड बीजेपी का जो मीटिंग हुआ जहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोग मीन्स प्रिविलेज पीपल दे हैव टेकन द सीट एंड डिसाइडेड टू मीन्स टेक द इशू एंड विल सॉल्व इट. तो ऑथर ये बोल रहे हैं कि ये पहले से ही बोन ऑफ कंटेंशन है, तो इसके वजह से राइट इनका जो मीटिंग है वो सक्सेसफुल नहीं हुआ, राइट? इफ आई कैरी अनदर इशू इनटू इट, then I can make the author's issue weaken. Hey, so what is my issue? I pointed that real estate prices fallen down, right? And as it is fallen down, so what happened? Nobody shows their interest towards the textile mill land plan, isn't it? Now this becomes weakened to the author's argument. तुम जो बोल रहे हो वो सच नहीं है. The such is this one, isn't it? Got my point? Now if I go to the option A, B and D, which option you chose? Delhi. और किसी का? Yours? See, yours? Okay. So D में क्या दिया है? The regeneration of Parin is relating to the regeneration of the city of Mumbai. Right. Now what does it say? It is trying to tell us that what अगर इसको develop किया जाएगा तो मुंबई का develop भी होगा. But here it is stating about that land is necessary for whom? For the textile mill plan, no? So why it is necessary to redevelop the Mumbai? Are you getting my point? So this land is necessary for the sake of what? Means textile mill plan. है कि नहीं? So and the problem here you would find out that means you need to redevelop the Mumbai. क्यों भाई? It is stated no regeneration of Parel is relating to the regeneration of the city of Mumbai. So this makes a kind of a means a kind of means irrelevant. You can say that, or also you can say that even if it is taken, right, this will not be considered as the better than the thing, the issue which was pointed. Better than the issue. The issue is called as a real estate falling. Right.
Here, which one is the main argument?
Where?
In the paragraph.
It is stated for author's argument in the passage above. If I talk about author's argument, then we can find out the author has stated about the past information and taking that past argument. He is telling that this issue, the issue means that is called as the kind of a meeting held among the Charles Correa, the famous architect and the city planner, also includes the chairman of SDFC. However, the report which was submitted to the state government a few months ago seems to have gone the way of all such reports. It means the author wanted to point out this report, which is something called as a not successfully undertaken, not successfully means granted because of the reason of what? The bone of contention. है कि नहीं? उसी को लेके यही स्टेटमेंट को means क्या किया गया? Means conclude किया गया. Right? तो हमें करना क्या चाहिए? तो आपका main argument is the last one. Right? But the cause of that last argument is the first one. है कि नहीं? तो उसी के बेस पे so C is clearly stating means a kind of a logical reason. But if I talk about the D is stating that means the financial burden. So you may consider that excessive money will be huge, or called as if you need to invest on this, you need to invest on whole city. Right? So both your choices, that's something called as a ludicrous, means a kind of means not appropriate, not considered real. ठीक है? Okay. Coming to the next question number 5. किसका doubt था? Okay. So what is there in the question number 5? Very interesting question. Trump is seeking re-election. So here we are talking about Donald Trump. So Trump is seeking re-election. So it may be a strategically better option to have a summit with the North Korea at the beginning of the election year. His fundamental interest lies in politics. There is no point of trying to interpret his diplomatic rhetoric. Recently, North Korea has carried out 7 tests of short-range missiles or projectiles. Right? Trump's willingness to play down the test, calling them very standard, have raised eyebrows. He said he has no problems with the test and they would not affect his willingness to negotiate with Pyongyang as long as the North holds off firing long-range missiles that are capable of reaching mainland US. Trump won't take any action. Nuclear weapons threatening South Korea are not his concern. Trump is also stopped from making provocation remarks about Kim for fear of the North Korean leader walking away from negotiation. Trump is virtually held a political hostage by Kim, who can deprive the US president of his one and only diplomatic achievement, especially in the appearing presidential campaign. Right. Now you find out that the whole text is indicated about the ambitious Trump, Donald Trump, to join or to participate in the re-election. right? Where his main vision is to what? His main vision is to what do we say that win the election, right? And for that reason, he made a kind of a relation with the other countries' leaders, right? And what does he try to do? He doesn't try to make them means anger. He doesn't want to make them what any kind of a conflict with the other countries, isn't it? That is what the theme you collect from the text, isn't it? Now look at the question: which of the following, if true, would most weaken the explanation? So most weaken the explanation. Why Trump is supposedly held a political hostage by Kim? Now you imagine that when you excessively depend upon others, so you become a political hostage, right or not? Hey, ki nahi? So on the basis of that, means what we need to do? I need to find out one of my option where I could say that no, Donald Trump is not excessively depend upon excessively depend upon or called as excessively depend upon the Kim, right or not? So in that case, one of the reason must be there, right? One of the reason must be there, isn't it? If we find out that reason, then we can weaken the author's argument. Because throughout the passage, the author is nothing but stating that how Trump is excessively depend upon Kim. So if I go to the option D, D says Trump said sanctions which the not once lifted and which were a sticking point in the second meeting between Trump and Kim would remain in place. Okay, let's see that other options. The Trump-Kim meeting with regard to nuclear negotiation is not looking for speed. It is looking to get it right. Now it is indicating about nuclear negotiation के बारे में point out किया जा रहा है, right? So option B, President Trump has many diplomatic achievements and foreign policies victories to showcase the presidential campaign. President Trump has many diplomatic achievements and foreign policy victories to showcase the presidential campaign. Yeah? No, this one is supporting to the President Trump, no? Right. So
first option ऐसा भी तो हो सकता है like if
let's read all the options and then after we'll quickly go. So option C said the US would be employing a designated team selected by Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to start work on new negotiation. Right. And okay, so D we discussed that called as the Trump said sanctions which the not once lifted and which were a sticking point in the second meeting between Trump and Kim would remain in place. Right. So if you go with the option A, what does it try to say? The Trump-Kim meeting with considered to nuclear negotiation is not looking for speed, right? It is looking to get it right. So how do you think that option?
So it's like you said Trump is completely dependent on Kim for
Supposedly held a political hostage by means Kim, right? Now here you would find out Trump and Kim का meeting हुआ है, right? With considered to nuclear negotiation. Right or not? Why Trump is supposedly held a political hostage by Kim? This is given the region. No, it is supporting. It is supporting, no? Doesn't it tell that what Trump is virtually held a political hostage by Kim, who can deprive the US president of its one and only diplomatic achievement? It means what? On the matter of this nuclear negotiation, if Trump goes away or Trump does something, then there will be a kind of a conflict occur between Kim.
Speed को देखता है and does not focus on like getting the negotiation right, and that can be completely take away the victory of
Whom?
like Trump से वो पूरा victory.
Now, do you understand that the option A is making an idea of what Trump and Kim का meeting किसके ऊपर है? Nuclear negotiation के ऊपर है. So this seems like what? Means Trump is depending upon the Kim. Kim is also depending upon Trump. It's not about that Trump is only depending upon the Kim. Kim is also depending. तो ये क्या करता है? ये support करता है ना कि anyhow that meeting shows that Trump and Kim means depend to each other. Got my point? Option B. President Trump has many diplomatic achievements and foreign policy victories to showcase in the presidential camp. Now, this could be a kind of an answer, right? Because here you are saying that what he doesn't only depend, he doesn't completely depend upon the king, because he has some many diplomatic achievement and foreign policy that victories to showcase in the presidential campaign. Now, this can be called as a kind of a weakening case, right? But if I look into the C and D, C said the US would be employing a designated team selected by Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to start work on new negotiation. Now, this doesn't make any relation with the Donald Trump, right? That because of the election, he completely depend upon the what do we say that king or not depending upon the king. It doesn't tell anything related to it. It is stated that what the US is doing. That is what C is saying. D, it will be Trump said sanctions which the not once lifted and which were a sticking point in the second meeting between Trump and Kim would remain in place. So what do you think on this?
My answer was
B. So D क्यों नहीं होगा?
ऑप्शन बी का हमें तो पूरा लिखा रहा कि he is totally independent.
Independent. कौन independent? Trump is independent. It indicates that if Trump is independent, then it doesn't depend upon the king. Huh? If it doesn't depend upon the king, right? Because the matter is on what? Matter is on Trump and king, and the idea is called as a Trump depends upon the king. So we find out option B where President Trump does what, right? ये सबके बारे में दिया गया है. लेकिन ऑप्शन डी क्या बोल रहा है कि भले ही प्रेसिडेंट ट्रम्प का किम के साथ अच्छा खासा रिलेशन है, राइट, बट एट द एंड ऑफ इट यू वुड फाइंड आउट प्रेसिडेंट ट्रम्प इज नथिंग बट एन इंडिपेंडेंट हु कैन हैंडल एवरीथिंग, राइट. So that's what option D is stating. So therefore you would find out in compare between option B and D, you would find out option D is a better, right. So that is why we have gone through the most weekend. So Trump said sanctions which the not once lifted and which were a sticking point in the second meeting, right. ये क्या हुआ, second meeting में Trump अपने statement को पूरा stick रखा and he did not go with the what Kim pointed, right or not. So in that case, what do you find out? Trump has something like his own voice, right or not? But if you talk about option B simply stated Trump has many diplomatic achievements and foreign policy. But passage में क्या दिया है? हम passage के हिसाब से जाएंगे ना. Passage में point out किया है कि ट्रम्प का किम के साथ. Got my point? So उसी की वजह से हमने टी ऑप्शन को चूज किया. Which were a sticking point in the second meeting between Trump and Kim would remain in place. Remain in place मतलब वैसे का वैसा ही रहा. Remain का मतलब क्या होता है? It remains same, right? It means Trump did not change his command, right? Got the point? So, so next is called as a question 6. Who have the doubt with question 6? You. Okay. Releasing good environment information would be hugely beneficial for companies. True, it is a burden. But that burden is not onerous. Onerous means एक अकेला ही नहीं उठाएगा वो burden को. Most green data are cheap to collect since emissions are tied to energy usage, which companies track anyway. Better information would help the environment by guiding information away from investment out from polluters, and it would be good for companies too. So, which of the following, if true, most strongly supports the argument? So, in each and every question, you would find out maximum most, right or not? तो यहाँ पे अगर देखा जाए, डी क्या पॉइंट आउट कर रहा है कि कंपनीज which paid the most attention to the environmental matters also did best when measured by share price and earnings. अब पहले लाइन को पढ़िए, क्या लिखा गया है पैराग्राफ में? रिलीजिंग गुड इन्वायरमेंट इंफॉर्मेशन फॉर कंपनीज, क्या लिखा गया है? सो जो कंपनी राइट सो एनवायरनमेंट के ऊपर काम करता है उसका बेनिफिट ज्यादा होगा, दिया गया है कि नहीं? तो हमें करना क्या है? सपोर्ट करना है। तो इसका मतलब अगर कंपनी विच पेड द मोस्ट अटेंशन टू द एनवायरनमेंट, क्या आइदर लिखा है? कहाँ पे आइदर लिखा है? क्या आइदर कहाँ पे लिखा है? आप स्टेट में पैराग्राफ में बोल रहे हो तो ऑप्शन ए इज अ चॉइस. Farms view environment as either irrelevant or a bit of a nuisance, right? Now, does it support? Like if you have a kind of a shop, you have a kind of a shop. So if you care the customer, right, your shop will get the benefit, isn't it? Now in that case, what? Those shop that care the customers, right, are getting benefit. It is supporting or not? है कि नहीं? लेकिन अगर आप ये कहोगे कस्टमर आए या ना आए मेरा उससे कोई लेना देना नहीं, डज इट सपोर्ट फॉर योर बेनिफिट? नहीं ना? देन हाउ वुड यू टेक ए ऑप्शन ए? अंडरस्टूड और नॉट? समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं? आज तो लग गया तुम्हारा. पानी पियो, पानी. डू यू हैव अ डस्ट एलर्जी? Huh? First thing is called as you are not the scientist. How did you make a kind of a comment that where is the dust? Dust will be present. The thing looks clean doesn't mean that it doesn't have filled with the germs. Dust and everything, it is present in the environment, even it comes out from the AC as well. Okay, ठीक है. Did you understand option G? क्यों? Option A is something like a choices you are giving. हो भी no हो भी का मतलब क्या होता है? Right? जब हमका क्वेश्चन ये है कि सपोर्ट करना है, आर्ग्यूमेंट ये है कि जो एनवायरनमेंट को केयर करता है उसका बेनिफिट होगा, तो इसका मतलब मीन्स टॉकिंग अबाउट द कंपनीज, isn't it? So obviously you say that companies which paid the most attention to environment will be hugely beneficial, isn't it? But if you say that I will not pay, then I will not get benefit. So you are not supporting to the argument. Okay, question number 6 के बाद 8. What is there in the 8? Yeah, the acceptance of a proposal to stop the sale of cigarette. किसका था ये doubt? आपका. So समझ में आया paragraph? The acceptance of proposal to stop the sale of cigarettes in the loose, right? So इसका मतलब जो सिगरेट पीते हैं ना, तो लूज में भी सिगरेट ना सोल्ड किया जाए, ठीक है? तो अगर हम सिगरेट को लूज में सेल ना करते हैं, राइट, ये एक प्रपोजल है, दिया गया है. एंड रेज द मिनिमम एज फ्रॉम 18 to 21 फॉर द सेल ऑफ टोबैको प्रोडक्ट्स. मतलब जिनका एज 18 है, so that will rise to 21. So now if you are turned 21, you have the chance of smoking cigarette, but you will not buy the luge. You will not buy the luge. So उसके लिए हमें प्लान करना है. So for the sale of tobacco product, clearly reflects the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare still determination to wage an all-out war against tobacco consumption. So ये एक war है जो कि means Ministry of Health and Family Welfare means raging, isn't it? These are commendable initiatives that would go a long way in stopping children from taking up cigarette smoking and forcing existing tobacco users to quit. Not like in the developed countries, increasing the cost of cigarette by itself Well, in most cases, felt to be a big deterrent in India. So they will continue to remain affordable to even young children and low-income individuals as long as cigarettes can be bought as single sticks. Now, what have you understood from this particular statement that called as a means it is not like the ministry has not taken any steps. It has raised the prices of means each cigarette, right, and the packet, isn't it? So, but despite that also people get it in a, or children get it in a means a single stick, whatever the prices it has. पैकेट लोगे तो आपको 110 मिलेगा, सो सिंगल लोगे तो 10 रुपए मिलेगा या तो 20 रुपए मिलेगा, है कि नहीं? सो एंड चिल्ड्रन as well as the below age, so they used to but take the test of it. So what is the question? The question is called, or the argument is what? To stop selling cigarette in luge, right? And raising the bar 18 to 21. So which of the following statement is true most strongly supports the argument? Now if I go to the option D, what does it say? Selling cigarettes not as a single sticks, but in packets of 10 or 20 makes experimentation and initiation by children more difficult, isn't it? That's something called as a strongly support, right? If you are not sell the cigarette in a single stick, sell it in a 10 or 20. If somebody asks, so we don't sell loose cigarette, we sell packet. If you want to buy it, buy it. So they means if somebody who is a new one, so will not buy the packet, right or not? And the poor people will also not buy the packet because they have no money, right? So and means somebody who is newly trying it will also not go for the means a packet, right or not? Can't do the experiments, isn't it? So therefore D supports that. Am I clear? But if you look into the ABC, A में क्या दिया है? Besides making cigarettes unaffordable, the purpose of pictorial warning will be served only when smokers are compelled to buy them in packets.